Hey guys, we're back. Uh, after like a month, which just a break. It wasn't like I actually had IRL stuff going on, etc., etc. I just kind of wasn't feeling it, and yeah, basically, we're back though. Probably consistent uploads, no clue. I'll upload whenever I feel like it. Just be sure. um, but anyway, this is GPA Season 6 quarterfinals versus the Nosepass, the Norwalk Nosepass, I believe. They're sitting 5-3. They finished 5-3. They were in our opposite division. They were second in their division. We pulled through with third in our division at sitting at 5-3. So we both did pretty well, or relatively well. But now we're in playoffs. Past records don't matter. Just gotta play well and see how it goes. But anyway, looking at the six that he brought, he had Sylveon for Alligator or Beetle, Lycanroc midday, and Appleton sitting in the back. Uh, Pretty much predicted all of these. The only thing I did not expect was the Wheezing, and I expected Sylveon over the Wheezing, but I could also see Wheezing. Like I moderately expected Wheezing here because it was a Scolipede check, which your teams are getting really weak Scolipede, but it's kind of eh. And Sylveon gave you a better initial swap in to Absol, gave you a decent Ninetales check, uh, gave you a relative, not really good, it's not a good conch check, but it got you a moderate conch check. Takes the fighting move and even takes a facade, forces me out. He could wish on the swap, but if I predict that, it's not that great. So, I can see why he wouldn't bring Sylveon as well, but I don't think Weezing's bad versus me at all. I don't disagree with that. But you can see the six that we opted to bring. Basically, it's Bandit Victini, just Veil support Ninetales, defensive Chople, Miltank. The Absol is 4 attacks. Scolipede is actually Poison Jab, Toxic Spikes, Spikes, and Endeavor. Focus Sash, obviously. Um, Basically, my plan is to hopefully. So, like, if he didn't bring the build that I expected and he decided to mix it up, then the Scolipede was more so better. But versus this build, Scolipede was okay, but I felt like he had too many things for it. And by that I mean he had Donphan, he had potential Air Balloon Tran, which I doubted he was bringing for the record, but um, he had potential T-Wave Thunders, which I 100% expected here. Um, and then Weezing, who had a very good chance of coming, but obviously on my initial layout I did not predict it. But I knew if there were 7 Mons, Weezing definitely was the last one. But here we are. And then I just have Sand Slash, Sword Dance, 3 attacks. Basically, looking at this, the Glades probably Sword Dance or Bulk Up. I didn't even. So I automatically assume like SD or Bulk Up when I go to a Glade, but I always assume 4 attacks. Like Glade can also be like a bulkier option here because a bulky Glade versus me is actually really good because it sets up better versus something like Sand Slash and Victini. Victini a lot less so, but it has the potential to. Um, just because, it's okay, not that great, but uh, well, it's better versus Absol versus Sand Slash, and it naturally outspeeds the old Ninetales. So there you go. Wasn't 100% sure what he's gonna do with the Glade, but like he could run a bulkier bulk up set. He could run just a straight offensive SD set, but the Thunderous is probably just it's probably more of a support set, but it's like guaranteed you're gonna have T Wave. Like I'm 100% about that. Hydreigon, probably Scarf. I don't really see a better option. Heatran just rocks. Donphan. Heatran could be Shook, it could be Air Balloon, it could be Lefties. Don't really know on the Heatran, but Donphan is just spin support, probably bulkier just to help with the Absol and the Victini. And then the Weezing used to be primarily Scolipede answer, but these other things as well to an extent. But yeah, we can get right into the match. So basically, lead preview. I had a Scolipede in prep that was meant to be my lead. He leads Heatran, I lead Scolipede. Because again, I had this Heatran supposed to lead, and so let's or not. I had my Scolipede to lead, so let's lead it. He leads Heatran. Basically, he's forced to swap out here because he's scared of EQ. I'm aware of this, but do I stay in? I do stay in and talk to Spike because I know either way I'm Sash. So basically, the only way he does anything is to. First off, I expected him to swap. But for two, if he didn't, he either A, rocks, predicting me to swap, B, lava plumes, because I doubt he'd be Magma Storm here, because you don't need it. Magma Storm is a valid option, though, because it traps something like Miltank to an extent. I could have EQ. I don't on this one, but I could. And like it chips down the Victini better as well, so like Magma Storm's an option. I really did not expect it, though, and he's more than likely forced out anyway, therefore T-Spike is just in general better versus Spike. Because if I can get a poison off on the Glade, it's just extremely good. And if he opts to not go hard Donphan, which I expected hard Weezing, to be honest, but and just levitate, so you'd be immune to the EQ. Therefore, you don't have the potential to absorb the T-Spike. So in general, T-Spike was just decent. It only hits 2 members, but the 2 members that it does hit are very important to be hit. Therefore, that was my thought process. T-Spike, he goes Donphan. Donphan's a bit annoying for my team initially, but I go hard Ninetales because I'm just expecting to spin. Relatively safe play. This will break his sturdy with the hail. I knew this. He's obviously forced out here. I predict the Heatran. I Hypnosis on the swap. Hypnosis was primarily just to punish the Heatran because it's not a legacy lead, therefore I couldn't have HP ground. Otherwise, I would have had it and would have gone for it there. But I could either Veil or could Hypnosis. I figured Hypnosis was better because I don't have a good Heatran swap in, to be honest. Miltank being my best one, but Burn is a thing. I would rather not get burnt on my Miltank, but like it's not that big of a deal if I get burnt, but I just still rather not. Just because the residual can be very important, but Hypnosis actually connected. So it worked. I go Absol here. But Absol gave me those offensive momentum. Here he's obviously forced out here. I just knock off, I believe. I just knock off because knockoff is just a very safe play in general. He reveals the Rocky Helmet. I do have Ice Beam on this thing, but Ice Beam is a roll to kill, and he can kill me. Therefore, I don't want to risk this. So here I just go my Ninetales. It's healthy. I don't think he's in a position to do this. I predict the Ninetales. He gets a crit. That would have been 40, and I'd be at 20% more. I'd be at 45. That's big if he gets rocks up, because basically now rocks kill my Ninetales. Or I think I live on like 1, depending on how rocks decide to work, really. But the crit's kind of big, just in particular for the rocks, which means I have to be more scared to get Heatran coming. I have to be more scared of the Hydreigon as well, because now I'm not at 45, therefore Hydreigon is a little bit more problematic. The Thundurus now kills me with T-Bolt, so puts me at range of a lot more than I would be without a crit. So the crit's kind of big, but it's not detrimental because I'm alive. And so, yep. It's also turn 6, which is just more of intimidation than anything. But here, obviously, again, he's forced out. I just Veil the Heatran, I believe. Yep. Here, I think I just go hard Victini, as I do. He gets a first turn wake, kind of annoying, but here he Toxics. Good play, but I'd rather I see. But he goes for the Toxic on the swap. Good play on his part. He was probably either predicting Miltank or my Victini, and it was just in general a coverage move because my 2 immunities are not coming in because they both, or my 3 immunities are not coming in because they all 3 die. So here we are. Here I know he's not going to go hard Donphan So I just bolt strike initially as he reveals I'm banded. As I reveal I'm banded, he gets the earth power off, puts me really low. Like that first turn wake's really annoying because now my Victini either would not be toxic or it would not have taken the earth power. So either I'd be healthier and toxic, or I would not have the toxic and I wouldn't be taking a residual. So here I know he's gonna go Donphan here, so I double out my Absol. I could have doubled out to something like Ninetales, but my issue with that was he's just gonna swap out his Heatran again. Um, so ultimately, Absol, he's actually much more likely to stay in, not expecting the Ice Beam to come in and kill him, because at this point it's guaranteed because it did 50. I think it did 52 minimum. I think 57 was like a very dead even roll. But at this point, after the hail chip, now Donphan is in range. I'm aware of that. He doesn't know I have it. I revealed the knockoff. Really, I was physically offensive. But I am mixed here. Therefore, IQ comes out. And I kill the Donphan. Perfect. His spinner is now gone. Therefore, if he is not defog on Thundurus and last slot defog on Hydreigon, he has no removal. And so my T-Spike on the Gallade is going to be really nice. Again, T-Spikes hit one thing now. But getting it off on the Gallade is crucial so I don't lose to it. As well as a spike, because spike's weeding Heatran at 24. That means if one spike is up, then it cannot come in anymore. So, or it comes in one time and then it dies the next time. So basically, this forces Heatran. It just forces a lot, and getting rid of the Donphan is just very nice. It brings in the Weezing. Weezing is an odd play, but I was take a lot from Sludge Bomb. Therefore, I just go hard on my very useless Scolipede. As he does 47. That's just kind of what I expected damage-wise. Flame makes sense because I have Sandslash, which is immune to Sludge Bomb. So, again, it makes sense. I just start hazard stacking at this point as he stockpiles. So here... Do I take a minute here? I think I took a minute here. Because here in this position, right, I get my spike up. I wanted to spike up initially more than I wanted a... T-Spike up because still the Heatran obviously being forced out, it can't come in anymore. Because at this point, it still comes in on Ninetales 100% of the time. Because my freeze dry, I mono Moonblast, not freeze dry. And Moonblast is like 6% or something like that. Therefore, at this point, you still take Hail plus Moonblast plus another turn of Hail. Therefore, or you take Moonblast, Hail, and then another Moonblast still. Therefore, you get a Fire move / predicted Toxic / predicted Earth Power, and it's just not a good position for me. Therefore, I wanted to spike up to punish that, and therefore now Ninetales can just freely click Moonblast, to be honest. Like, Weezing coming in is not that big of a deal. So, now that I got my spike up, I don't need more spikes, so I just get a Toxic Spike up for the Gallade. At this point, Flamethrower, he has to max roll me to get the kill. So, I'm not worried, because I have Endeavor, as I said before. At this point, I can't touch this thing, so... And I'm not going for Endeavor now, because I don't want to... I just rather get the full damage off than getting him down to, like, 50, and then... I don't know. I just thought another Spike Up was probably more beneficial, because ultimately I'm still getting the same amount of damage off, assuming I don't get Bear Maximum rolled here, and I get Bear Maximum rolled. So, here we are. Getting Max rolled there is kind of big, because now he has his +2 defense, +2 special defense Weezing sitting in front of me. And, you know, I don't have anything on my team that can break through that. I do have Hypnosis Ninetales, which is my only real play outside of Trick Victini. But, basically, my thought process here is I have Trick Victini, which has to come in here. And his only play is too quick. Sludge Bomb, Flamethrower, or swap out. Swapping out a Heatran would be a really good play now, but which is probably his best play. But I just bring in my Victini. Here he should know that I have Trick, but he doesn't necessarily confirm 100% no. So, because he could just expect my Banded V-Create to get the most damage off, because it is my hardest hitting Pokemon here, for the record. So, anyway, the Weezing's sitting here. I'm forced to Trick here. If he goes hard, Heatran puts me in a very bad position, but, basically here, if he Sludge Bombs, I can just go Sandslash, get a free kill with Icicle Crash. Probably off into the Heatran, but, if he goes for flamethrower, then I get in my Miltank to either A, get rocks up, which I probably would not go for. I just go for a raw seismic toss just because I don't really need anything. I go for trick on the Wheezing as he goes for a stockpile again, which is fantastic because he's obviously either A, he's going to continuously click stockpile, or B, he's just going to swap out. My best play here is the U-turn because it covers both. As he brings in his Heatran, U-turn does 4, doesn't kill. I don't need it to kill. Moonblast, I literally had to calc this just to confirm because I'm not invested for the record. So I did not know where this was killing, but Moonblast at this range does kill. Well, no. Okay, so I forgot about that until, I'm gonna be honest, I did not remember Hail. I was just gonna Moonblast, but it's good for me that this did happen like this. Like, I think I initially I remember Moonblast, and I wanted to go Ninetales because Ninetales put me in the best position in general. But I think eventually I remembered, oh hey, Hail's gonna kill it. But no, I didn't because I said in chat, oh Hail. So basically, Moonblast did still kill it at that range. So I was still just gonna go for Moonblast and probably gonna Moonblast off into Wheezing or just sack Heatran. Because I think my issue is, like, Heatran, obviously you can just sack it off there, but Wheezing kind of fodder at this point, and you can preserve Heatran at the sack for, like, stalling out Hail turns, for having a swap into Absol. I think it's just in general decent to have it, but here he makes a solid play. He clicks Defog, right? That was very aggressive on his part because I could have clicked Blizzard there, and this thing was easily O-code. I could have clicked Freeze Dry. I could have clicked literally anything. But I think he predicts very nicely here, for the record. He predicts the Victini to come in on the sack and defogs, which puts him in a fantastic position now. Well, not necessarily a fantastic one because I'm still up 5-6, but not for long, or 5-4, not for long because he's about to go 4-4. But then I get my Sandslash in to click Icicle Crash and kind of get my kill. So puts me in a decent position. Here, obviously, his hazard is now gone, which means Glade's not taking poison. It's not taking 18%, I believe, on the Swapman, which is kind of big because every bit of damage on the Glade's mattering, and now I'm not getting the poison off, which means bulk up / SD can sweep me. I'm not that scared of SD, but I'm scared of bulk up. I am assuming SD at this point, but I always assume SD when I see Glade, so that's just called my fault. I sit here for about 2 minutes, I think, debating, because I was debating between... I think I was debating between Miltank and Sandslash, because my issue with Sandslash was I knew for 100% he would go for T-Wave here if Sandslash came in. I knew good and well he had the T-Wave, so... The issue here now is going to be, do I go Sandslash, take the paralysis at this point, or do I go Miltank, take the bulkier route, which my issue with going the Miltank was if he had knockoff or if he had toxic, something like that. Basically, Miltank put me in a bad position because then I don't have my Chockle, and if I get toxic, then I still don't have the necessary HP to take on the Glade as well. So basically, eventually I do bring in my Sandslash because it's my offensive answer to this. Because Ninetales was crit, which he still could have Earth Power, Flash Cannon. So I take 20/20 on that, but actually he knows I'm not because hell yeah. I also thought about going Absol, but I didn't think Absol made any sense because it did not kill. So I think I did actually opt going, or I think about going Absol a little bit, but I didn't think it was my best play. I go Sandslash. I'm just going to take the paralysis here as he does the reveal T-Wave as expected, and I get fully paralyzed. That's kind of big, but because now this Thundurus is put in a position where if he has Focus Blast, then either way, T-Bone's doing, like, I don't remember exactly how much, but it did a very good amount. But So even if he doesn't have the focus blast and has like T-Bolt flash cannon, which is a very valid set, um, then uh, he kind of wins. uh, if he does have focus blast, but if he has T-Bolt, then as long as I break through, it's not horrible. It's really bad. It puts me in a very bad position, like I'm fully paralyzed there. But it's not detrimental if he has the T-Bolt versus the focus blast, as he reveals the focus blast. But the he goes for focus blast and misses, but I get fully paralyzed again. Um, see. He goes for another focus blast, misses. I icicle crash, break through. The reason this is so big, and obviously he missed 2 focus blasts, but you know, I was also paralyzed twice. And anyway, the bigger thing is I don't have the proper hail turns to chip this down as much as I would need it for something like Absol, for something like Absol, I guess. um, so Absol can't come in. It can't click play rough, which I do have, which does a very good amount. I don't remember exactly how much, but I guarantee I'll get a big play rough off. And if I had the proper hail turns, I might be able to actually well, kill it. But delay does come in, which is the hugest threat on this team. As he mega evolves, and he's good for the bulk up. And at this point, Icicle Crash does a very good amount. I think about sacking Ninetales here because I knew Drain Punch was coming out. Well, I figured Drain Punch was coming out, but I kept Ninetales just in case he wasn't Scarify Dragon. But in hindsight, I guess I probably still should have sacked Ninetales. It didn't win me the game because I didn't have the proper hail turns, but well, hail doesn't matter all too much, but it's just better to know what would have happened had not I gotten unlucky just a little bit. But I still have the Miltank, so this still manages it. As he's gonna Drain Punch here, get all his health back. He puts it at 88. He bulks up again, which I think he just knew. I think he knew that I was Topple, so he bulked up again, and I don't know. That's such a rough. That's a rough position to be in on his part, to be honest, because if he Drain Punches, and I guess he just hard bit into my set and knew I was gonna be Topple counter. That's the only way you bulk up there, for the record, because otherwise you just hit me, and even if you don't kill, you don't allow yourself to get T-Wave and slower than Ninetales. So I don't know about the initial bulk up. I think he just knew that I was counter, but that's such a hard call out. So I don't know, but he bulks up again as I reveal the counter. This basically reveals I'm Choppable 100% of the time. He bulks up again as I just Seismic Toss initially. So here, okay, so he's put in a position where I'll show his play first. He Drain Punches here. He does 73, gets his health back. I had Seismic Toss here because, okay, so the issue with that play, right, is he's sitting at 52. He lives a Seismic Toss, and you can bulk up again. So basically, I don't think that was the 50-50. Because at +5, you still kill me with the Drain Punch. I believe. I think that was the calc. Basically, once you get... And then, this is not a 50-50. It is... It isn't in the perspective that I can either A, Seismic Toss, or B, click counter. If I was in his position, I always bulk up. You don't lose anything, basically, if you bulk up. Next turn, it's a 50-50 still. But this turn, you lose the game if you click Drain Punch and I click counter. You probably lost. Yeah, you more than likely lost. But, so here I figure bulk up is his best play, and Seismic Toss is my best play. But he opts to click Drain Punch here, and I think that was a potential throw, but I guess that's just my opinion. um, I think that was a potential throw. But I guess every turn it was a potential throw because every turn was a 50-50. But I don't think I think that was more of like a 70-30 position where you didn't have to click Drain Punch there unless you just made the hardest call out that I was going to click Seismic Toss again. But I thought Bulk Up was his best play, and I thought Seismic Toss was my best play. I think in general that was supposed to be a dead turn, and he either just A, called me out again, or B, just misplayed and benefited because I made my better play, which is a thing, but I think more so I just got called out there. Um, Again, good play on his part. He played this game really well for the record. The one thing I would debate on whether it was a good play was clicking Stockpile on the Victini. I think probably clicking Sludge Bomb was better. Just even if it was like, because it covered Trick. I think you should be scared of Trick even though you don't expect it per se. I think that was really just the biggest misplay of the game. Um, Basically, Glade comes in. Drain Punch kills Miltank. Then I miss Player Off. Okay. Kills Absol and I just forfeit. So the that was just salt in the wound, to be honest. Missing Player Off was just strictly salt in the wound, and I said that like right after the match, dude, because you gotta realize that this match happened August 3rd. It really? That's a long time ago. That's nearly 2 months ago. Okay, well, this happened August 3rd because it was uploaded August 3rd. Uh, so I don't know what the date matters at all. Actually, no, I'm just saying that right after the match, I'm pretty sure I said that was just salt the wound strictly, and my luck in draft leagues as of late had been really unlucky. I'd been getting unlucky in pretty much every league at the time, so just missing player off just added on to the unluckiness I've had. Um, Basically, the only way I still won was the crit there. And if you're Scarfied Dragon comes in there and clicks. Well, if you have Flash Cannon, I don't know if it kills at 72. I don't think it does. As I run the calc, I don't have any interesting things here, but or no, not Gallade, but I'll check. I still have to put an Absol. I don't remember whether it was. I have the. I was Jolly with Ice Beam. Oh, because it's still Cocoa score. Yeah. I'm calcing versus Hydreigon. Yeah, okay. So it came down to a 50-50, really. And that's a naive variant, so easily, definitely did not kill me. Um, Basically, even on a naive variant, it did 52 to 62. So even if he expected me to be naive, then here we are. It came down to a 50-50 if I did crit him there. So yeah. um that was just in general a very good game. Uh I I don't know if the skull. In hindsight, the Scolipede set definitely wasn't working, and but I didn't expect Boots, Defog, Thunderous, and I did expect Sylveon over the Weezing, which gave me another reason to have T spikes, another reason to have spikes. So I don't necessarily disagree with it too much, but I think I played the game for the most part. The game was played fine. The only misplay. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't really see any notable misplays. I just think Gallade was a big ass threat versus me. Um, I think my lead was good. I think Hard Ninetales there was best. Hypnosis Call Out. Absol was probably still my best play. Ninetales getting crit. Maybe. No, Ninetales is definitely my best play. Veil on the Heatran. I maybe Miltank here. Maybe that was a better play, but Miltank was my Glade answer, and I knew that. Therefore, I wasn't going to go hard Miltank. I would have gotten Toxic. Therefore, I guess either way, Victini was my best play. Bolt Strike here initially. I made these two turns were good. Turn 9 and 10. I knew he'd stay in there, and then I knew he'd swap out here, and I made the call, knowing to go Absol rather than going something like Ninetales, which again was good on my part. Uh, just knowing he'd be more likely to stay in on the Absol than he would the Ninetales. So, um, that was a good play. Misplay. I think maybe going hard Victini versus staying in with Scolipede and maybe endeavoring immediately, but like the only difference that would have made was I had my, I guess, no, I think hard Scolipede was fine initially, but the moment he stockpiled, maybe should have doubled out to Victini. But like if you clicked Sludge Bomb there, it was bad, thinking Flamethrower doesn't kill, telling me Sludge Bomb. At this point, you have dual hazard, therefore you should expect, like, I don't know. I don't think that was necessarily a misplay. Maybe not my most optimal. I think here maybe I should have clicked Endeavor just to weaken it a little bit, but it really would not have changed literally anything. But I think that had to be my play. U-turn was my best play here. Maybe sacking off. If I sack off Ninetales, though, hypothetically speaking, assuming he kills me, I just straight didn't expect defog. That was like the turning point. This was the turning point turn, where he got the hazards off, basically the toxic spike, notably. But here, this is a tough play in general. Like whether I go Absol, because I think it was a roll. It was a roll way in his favor, I think, assuming no bulk. And revealing Defog and Thunderwave means you probably have some bulk. So I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I don't think I notably misplayed this game. I just think the matchup was a bit rough, but I don't think it was unwinnable. I just think bulk up Glade was a huge problem. Maybe should have brought Scarf Ninetales, but Scarf Ninetales versus a Heatran, like, how am I supposed to bring that? But anyway, good game. GPA season 7 though. Got it. I'm not a fan of the team. Okay, so I'm a fan of the team, and it's an HO team basically, and I've made it clear that I hate playing with HO because I don't like having no defensive monster to fall back onto. And when I say this team has no defensive Pokemon, I mean Rotom-Mow is my most. That's my bulkiest Pokemon, and Manaphy. There's two Pokemon. I spoiled it, but I don't care. Rotom-Mow and Manaphy are my two bulkiest Pokemon. And that puts into perspective how bulky this team is. It's just straight HO. And I just don't like playing with HO. I've drafted HO twice ever, and I did horrible both times. I did in Luxury League Season 2, where I drafted like Cinderace and Tyrantrum. It was a cool team. It was decent, I think, but it was Libero. How do you say that? I think people say it different ways, but I had an HO team there. I finished 4 and 7, and then DLA, season 2, I believe. I went like 0 and 4. No, that was season 2. I went 4 and 0, or maybe that was season. I don't know. One of the seasons I drafted HO, and I went like, I think I went 1 and 2, or like 2 and 2. And then the league died. I don't know, but I'm not a fan of HO. But our team next season, we're doing PRs sort of a little bit, but the one dude that did PRs, he put my team first, so that's neat. It's Ashton, actually, unironically. But he put my team first in PRs, which I don't know how I feel about that. I just think the team is very good offensively, and I think just my playstyle does not fit HO. Therefore, puts me in that position to where I don't think my team's that great, but it's just due to my personal preference. So, I think there's bias in all PRs to an extent, but anyway. There's a playoffs match. We lose. tomorrow, DLA, I believe, will be up versus Daniel. Do I still have that recording? I think I still have it. I think I already. So basically, this is the second time I've recorded this, but can you see that? I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't. I still have the file? I don't know. I'll figure it out afterwards. I will see you guys at the DLA match tomorrow.